Yo, it's a late one. It's an evening stream. It's one of those I want to say end of the day, type of vibes. We're talking about AFCON 2025. We're going to review AFCON. Well, obviously we also have to still talk about what's trending in terms of like what people are talking about. I'm talking about the final and all the drama that unfolded. And I'm joined by Joe Blackman and Paco, not Paco again. Big up, guys.
Well, go on, people.
What's
Hola,
up?
hola.
What's up?
Shout out to
What's up?
everybody on the stream. Shout out to all you.
Yes. This is it's one of those like intercontinental streams. Joe is in the UK, Paco is in Botswana, and I'm in America. So, we all had different experiences while watching it. Joe and I were doing a watch along, chill along, right? Joe, how
No,
and
enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, this was my first proper AFCON experience, bro, and it blew my mind.
yeah.
I
It's
never knew corruption was so corrupt, bro. Someone's got to explain this to me. Yeah, somebody said corruption was good. But when I saw corruption the other day, but I was like, "Bumbleclad!"
Bo- 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 bo.
African Cup of Nation is moving mad. Yeah, we do need to talk about it still. Like,
Mhm.
not all corruption is good corruption still.
Yeah. And
It's
not only that, like these different shades of corruption, these different levels of corruption, and I feel like this tournament exposed a certain element of like when the people that have too much money try to influence the game and things don't go that way, you know, because it's a true testament of football really winning and standing up against the odds. I mean that Senegal performance was just a testament of you can have everything stacked against you, but if you have pure will, sheer grit, like if you dig deep and
wow.
don't let other things become excuses, you can actually still prevail against all odds. They did it,
Yeah.
and that's what the
Like
story of
I
Senegal
know
was.
I can
Right.
be what I
I
wanna be.
wanna be, if I
If
work
I
hard
work
at
hard
You
at
gotta
it,
work
it.
it.
that's
Yo
literally
man,
what it is.
my first experience with the AFCON. I mean, this one we watched at a fan park here in Gaborone, the capital city of Botswana.
Yeah.
It was massive. It was major. The place where I watched, like I said earlier in the shorter podcast, I said we had
Yeah.
one Morocco fan and like 200 fans for Senegal. It was all
Oof.
the Africans supporting our you say African brothers from sub-Saharan Africa. You know, we know the Moroccans like to say they are closer to Spain than they are to Africa, so we can't ignore that. But I was
Well,
gonna say,
well,
well,
not all of them. I want to actually make sure because this rhetoric, there's this conversation about this is I'm bringing this. I'm not saying this. You're saying this specifically, Paco, but like I've seen
yeah,
this rhetoric about just people that say, well, North Africans, or Arab Africans, they always try and like really like consider themselves their own people versus like the rest of like Africa, and while maybe there might be a minority that may have like made headlines
Facts.
like that, but like that's not the truth about every Arab African or every African that's from like Egypt or Morocco, Tunisia, or anything like that. What were you gonna say, Joe?
Well, can I ask you a question then? As Africans on the panel, yeah. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel
Yeah,
like they were trying to set it up to be an all Arab final though?
aha, that's a good one.
That's what it felt like.
that's a good one. That's a very
I
good
felt like
question.
it was supposed to be set up to be an all Arab final, Morocco versus Egypt. Do you know what I mean? It's
Ah,
Mm,
I don't know.
I mean, even Jurgen Klopp posted that. He was like, "Sorry, Sadio Mane, but you have an Afcon. We gotta go with Mo Salah on this one." I mean, even the Super Eagles of Nigeria with what? Like Nigeria has what? 500 million people? I don't know.
yeah.
70 million. even they were not being favored all the way. I mean, Osimhen, Lookman had to do the work in the team. They were not being favored to be in the final.
So what I'm saying, it looked like there was forces at play, like you guys were saying, like the level of corruption. But for me, if there's one thing I thought, it was probably supposed to be an all Arab final.
Yeah,
Those are the signs. I mean, even the betting houses probably were thinking like that.
Yeah, yeah. No, it definitely is a clear sign that there is betting and corruption and people trying to influence results in a particular way in football, in the modern game, and we just have to just recognize it's just one of the consequences of having capitalism and so much money being injected into football. Sometimes people that have excess money end up putting a bet on something and then try to bribe people to influence results to be favorable in a particular way.
Are you talking about Man City?
That and also just yesterday, what we saw in Rabat, but look at Paqueta, exactly that. Like it's there in the modern game. It's there in the modern game. So shout out to you, by the way, if you're just tuning in. Kind reminder to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Was streaming this to a couple of platforms. Backhand Entertainment, Joe's channel. Also Mark and MUFC, that's Mark's channel, and Elite Footy Talks, also Mark's channel, as well as Football Power Hour, mine, and my Twitch as well. So yeah, guys, what are you saying in terms of just like after having time to like reflect on the miss? Because I wanna play this clip, but before I do that, I wanna hear your thoughts, Joe. I wanna hear your thoughts, Paco. Like, I'm sure you've been listening to other people talking about
I was saying a lot on the game. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, because the day after, you've heard other people speak, you've had time to digest, reflect, look back on the game, and for me, it's like this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was so adamant that he missed on purpose. I was so adamant that he did that on purpose. He did that shit on purpose. But now, listening to other people speak and hearing, was he trying to actually dig the hole a little bit deeper and dig the knife in a little bit deeper into the back by trying to embarrass Senegal by doing a Panenka? And it was just found out. Was that the case? I don't know. Because a certain part of me said he missed on purpose, but the way that they were playing that game after with intent shows me that, like, you know what? Nah, nothing was done on purpose. He got too cocky, too big for his boots, and he
exactly. Louder, Joe.
Where's my air horn? Where's my air horn? I think you're onto something.
I got you.
Like they said, the arrogance became very clear when he went with the Panenka against Medi. But also, you mentioned the capitalism and the money in football. What does that do for the brand of Real Madrid, where his bread is buttered? I mean, that's his 9 to 5. Well, do they work 9 to 5?
Yeah.
What does that do for the brand? Do you think Perez is happy right now? Fiorentina's gonna call him. He's like, dude, you can't do these things when everybody knows you're from Real Madrid. There's real money at play and real money going to be lost because he missed that penalty.
That's true, I
mean, that's why. That's corruption, though.
Go ahead, Joe.
The only way money was lost is through the corruption, though. You get me? Because anybody that's betting on the game should know that your money can be lost or won, right? You can win money, you can lose money if you're betting on the game. People are only going to be mad if they was expecting something. You get me?
But I mean, the brand of Real Madrid, the memes of a Real Madrid player missing a Panenka.
Yeah,
that's like the brand of Real Madrid. That's what I'm saying. Not on the betting side or the corruption side, on the brand side.
I don't think that would count as well because he wasn't in the Real Madrid kit. What you do in international duty don't count as when you come back, though, unless you're injured. I don't feel like they'll say, "Oh, you fucked up in international duty now. You're ruining the brand out here." Unless he was doing the madness out there, slapping people up or something illegal. That's the only way it would ruin the brand. You get me? But I don't feel like that was ruining the brand.
Check this out. Check this out. Check this out.
Good luck, mate. We're all rooting for you. All the best. Love you lots. A la Madrid.
amigo. Gánalo.
Hola amigo Brahimi, y bueno, te quería desear lo mejor en esta final, espero que la pueda disfrutar mucho y bueno, esperamos acá con muchas ganas. Abrazo amigo.
Vamos, Brahino.
Vamos, Magreb. Vamos, Brahino.
Ya sabes que te queremos mucho.
Vamos,
Muchísima suerte, tráete la copa y nada, estamos aquí esperándote con los brazos abiertos. Mucho ánimo.
Sí, Brahino, mucha suerte, amigo.
Desearle mucha suerte y que vaya todo bien.
Hermano, mucha suerte y seguro que te traes la copa de vuelta. Un abrazo. Suerte, amigo.
Brahim, mucha suerte y a traerte la copa.
Te deseamos aquí todos mucha suerte y que ganes. Hola, Brahim. Mucha suerte.
Why are we
para la
watching
final.
this?
Ganar. Good luck,
Well,
mate.
you
It's Real
basically
Madrid.
got the whole
All
Real
the best. Love you
Madrid
lots. A la Madrid.
It's the brand.
branding themselves and actually, hyping up this Real Madrid player that's been having 5 goals in the tournament,
Aha.
or like scoring
Exactly.
every single game in the tournament, and also that Real Madrid, Morocco has never lost with Brahim Diaz playing.
So the branding, when it works, they associate with him. But when
Yeah,
he's missing Panenkas, they don't want that shit at Real Madrid. Sorry for the language.
I see. I can see that angle a little bit. It's not a conspiracy. It's really possible that the Real Madrid PR was writing this hard.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, let's look at the Panenka. Let's look at the
They were
Panenka.
riding hard because they had one of their own involved in the competition. You know, if he won, they would have come home, give him a little celebration. Yeah, look, our players win stuff everywhere they go. But just because he didn't win, that's not going to then look bad on the brand. Do you know what I mean? How many people go away in international duty and don't win? Do you know what I mean? It's not going to be, oh, you fucked up in front of Africa. No, we don't. You know what I mean? It's going to be more down with him and his Moroccan people that are going to be getting into him still, not the Real Madrid people. The Real Madrid people might even come back and put an arm around him. You're going to be getting abused from your people because you missed the penalty. They might want to do that thing where we're coddling you now, protect the player. Kind of like what happened with David Beckham when he came back, when he missed that, when he got sent off.
Yeah. They're gonna send him
For
to
England,
Real Osasuna.
when he
Just
came back.
watch. Osasuna. I'm gonna send him to Osasuna.
They're like, yeah, Osasuna material. Go play there.
I say, look, let's have a look at that penalty. 'Cause do you think he missed it on purpose, Bots, or not? You heard my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I still think they talked it out at in the tunnel and said the best way to solve this is to give this game another 30 minutes, which made the most sense. They literally said, okay, go out there, put that ball in the middle, and Mendy, if it's your choice, but you can catch this ball. And look at this guy. Look at the way he kicks the ball, but more importantly, look at the reactions of the Moroccan players. Only
Look at his
one of
face
them.
right now. Look at his face right now as well.
Yeah.
Look at his eyes right now.
There's a
Right now,
terrified kid.
important as well.
This kid is terrified. He knows exactly what's about to happen. And Captain Hakimi threw him under the bus, telling him, go kick it, when it should be the captain kicking this ball.
And that's another question. Why is the captain not kicking it?
He looks so nervous. Exactly, Parker. Big up yourself. Shout out to we have almost 20 people watching, and kind reminder, a lot of people haven't hit the like button yet. So, let's do the right thing. But look at this.
It's like you're saying, but for right now, just make sure you keep on pausing it because you don't want to be getting a copyright strike. But what I'm trying to say is this,
Yeah.
You see, before he took it, is that the fear of knowing that there's going to be backlash from what he's about to do? Is that fear?
No, that's the fear of I have to make sure I kick this Panenka properly, the way we agreed upon in the tunnel. Because he has the option of kicking it all the way wide, but that one, it won't look good on him. It already doesn't look good, but it's gonna look worse.
It won't look good on him either.
Yeah,
What?
it already don't look good, but it can look worse. It can look worse if you don't cry.
Right,
It can,
There's no good outcome in this whole thing.
There's no good outcome. You're just trying to mitigate the
let's go
circumstance.
step by step.
Okay. Now,
Still step by
why?
step.
Okay, tell me. Usually, you'd be charging in to make sure you're there for the rebound. Why is all the Senegal players closer than the Moroccan players to the box?
Because they're
They
desperate to
already,
make sure it doesn't go in. What do you mean? Remember, this
bro.
is a life or death penalty right now. They're
It's a
making sure
life or
any
death
rebounds
penalty.
they're getting
But
there.
if
They
you're
want to
Moroccan,
defend.
if you're Moroccan, you want to make sure it goes in, even if the keeper saves it. So why is only one
next-
player so close? That's the point that I'm trying to make, Joe.
It's the arrogance
know,
that they were
man.
gonna get the
I don't
penalty
know.
first time round.
Everybody
You
was
don't
in it,
do
yeah?
this. No. Only the defenders are closest to the box.
It's the arrogance that he was gonna get it.
Hear me now. Walk with me. Big up, Mark. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in right now. Let's just hear me out. Hear me out. Now he kicks it, and it's a well taken Panenka. By the way, if anybody doesn't know, Panenka is named after Antonin Panenka, a guy from like Eastern Europe. He's the first guy.
Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, from Czechoslovakia. He's the first guy to actually like kick this style, this penalty this way in a European
kick the ball off the penalty spot.
Yeah, kick the ball off the penalty spot in this way. He chips it.
Chip the ball off the penalty spot.
So now look at how the other players respond. Only one player is surprised, or two players. Everybody else is just more like, let's get on with it.
But Papi, you've gone too far. When the penalty is coming out,
Mendy
had already was diving to the other side. But because he's so quick,
if you just touch along the timeline box rather than pressing play, just touch along the timeline like that is better. Yeah.
Mendy was diving, and then he saw that he's coming with the fake.
He's like, "Oh, I'm diving," and then right here he's diving, and then he's like, "Nope, I shouldn't dive because it's gonna be."
He didn't know.
No. He's just acting now. Come on now, you gotta sell it.
What? This is the WWE
you're reaching
afterwards as well. What was he crying for afterwards then? In your opinion, what was he crying for then?
Because if he's laughing or smiling, it looks bad on the optics. He has to be
you're trying to say that the man could just control crime. So you trying to tell me that
he's a professional actor now as well.
He's a professional
actor now.
Guys.
He's been taking acting class in Madrid.
I want to be honest and say this, bro. Brahim Diaz give me the vibes he's think like me. If it was me, brother, I was going and score the goal and then flip the middle fingers to Senegal.
So Mark, so you believe, right? You also believe
wanted to score.
What meant to miss?
He wanted to score. No, I telling you, he wanted to score. I telling you, he wanted to score. Not Brahim Diaz. They can tell me any, but bro, that is the face of a man who's saying, "I want to score the goal." I go and score despite my coach probably tell me this. I go and score.
He does look nervous, Mark. To me, he looks nervous as hell in this picture, though, Mark.
If he know he was going Messi when we
my life right now. He's thinking, he was going Messi. What am I about to do here?
If he miss, if he nervous because if he miss, he can't.
Is that me or does Mark sound like a robot? Is it me?
He does sound like a robot.
Sorry.
I see the comment. Stephanie is saying that penalty should be a retake. I mean, how much can the referee help you guys out?
They can't. If they retook that penalty last night, even I would have broke my TV. I would have been like, God, there's no way. If they could have never retook that penalty last night.
That's like, how much can you help?
That would have been riot worthy. That would have been worthy of a riot. And I would have, yes, I would have supported it.
There was already problems with journalists fighting. There was problems with some fans vandalizing, property in protest. There was some clashes with the riot police, with actual protesters. There was this would have been like pandemonium if that happened, Stephanie. Like, retaking
Yeah,
the pen. No.
they would have,
Call
they
it what
would have
it is,
been,
actually.
there would have been riots at Moroccan embassies around Europe, around Africa, everywhere.
And I would have defended it. I would have defended, yeah, because they already went through it still. If you know when people get past adversity, yeah, and then just
Yeah.
to see something else to be put in the way, you'd be like, nah. That would probably bring AFCON into more disrepute, actually, because I would have been like, nah, fuck AFCON. They've written the winner on the side. No, I would have,
Yes,
because
you
like
know,
you would have felt
Joe,
like they've been so badly aggrieved, bro, that there's no point in watching AFCON because the winner's already decided. That's what I'd be
Yeah.
like
Joe,
if like that had
Joe,
happened. Yeah?
to add on to what you were saying, do you remember the AFCON 2010 when Adebayo was one of the best strikers in the EPL and he was running out of a bus and two of his colleagues from the Togo national team got shot and killed, and he was running for his life
I remember
in
that.
some 2010. It would have been the same level of stuff.
It
Crazy.
And
happened.
somebody had captured Adebayo on video running from the bus that was being shot by rebels.
Oh my god. That is that yeah, that's just insane. But you know what? Good thing that it didn't go to that extent because it could have been worse.
With
But
the retake that Stephen is asking for, would have
with
gotten
the
to that
retake.
level.
But there was one person that pulled the world together and saved football and saved African football, and we gave him flowers earlier on, and that person is Sadio Mane. You know, like I think right now we just gotta give him his props again and say that decision to just say this match.
Mane. So, Mane was
100,
so
100.
brilliant that when you
Yeah.
watch the
What's that, Mark?
replay of the goal, he's the one who actually won the ball back in their own half.
Ah,
He's the one who won the ball back and then set up the dummy, got the Moroccans out of the way, gave it to, how do you say, the other midfielder from their team to set up the assist. But all the work that he did is just next level.
I wouldn't
oof.
lie.
Sadio
You know what's the
worked hard.
biggest, the
Go on,
biggest,
Mark,
the
sorry.
biggest disappointment? The biggest disappointment of that game was and I'm not saying this because I was backing any team over any team, because I had
Yeah,
my team was Mali, we don't get knockout, and I was just watching for a good game. Was
yeah,
the fact that that header, and I mean, I was not a PSG fan as a hater, because I never wanted to see PSG win anything. Yeah. But I remember watching Hakimi that season, one of the most physical defenders. He also won African Player of the Year. So when I look at that tussle with the oncoming player who scored the header, I was like, it's a one-arm tussle. There's no way he could have fallen so unless he dropped himself on the ground. And the funniest thing is that the goal score, and you even check a VAR. And I'm not saying that this is okay. I'm not saying that it was a right goal or it had to be a goal. But even if he was disallowed it, I feel like if the referee had take the time to use VAR to confirm to the players on the pitch and other people on the field or around the viewing, they might accept it more. And it might not have the disrepute when he now give the penalty after, because then you would have checked that play, and whatever happened after would have been happening after, because they'd have see, well, VAR say fuck you. Mind my language. But you understand what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I feel this is the one thing I complain about VAR in the Premier League weekly. I don't understand why they will check every single goal Man United score, but then when other teams score, they don't check. They just goal done. And it just gave me that vibes in AFCON that day. Like, you disallow the goal, no VAR check. I mean, the ball hit the back of the net. You that before you confirm, and at least give everybody a visual representation, so we can have some kind of
clarity.
consolation or
Yeah,
clarity. But
yeah.
we didn't have that. And now listen, I'm not going to say that Diaz dive, I might have felt like he went down really easy, because come on, the brother who pull him, if you're really fighting for a ball, he's not the strongest guy, but he ain't gonna drop so easy, bro. We know how players is move when in the box. The slightest touch they get this drop themselves. And referees really responsible for this because they stop giving yellow cards to men for diving, which is something that is hardly seen in football. You used to see it more often. And I think that used to keep attackers more honest because realistically, I think we're starting to give penalties for every little infringement in the box, which really and truly, a penalty is not a regular foul. A penalty had
Exactly.
to be a yellow card type of foul in the box, in my honest opinion, because it's like when you mash a man toe or you barely touch a man's foot, if he drop down because of that, come on, he's a big, strong player, bro. These fellas physically more adept than most of us normal average guys. These brothers training every day. They're fit. You know what I mean? You and I
Yeah.
can't say we go and run and battle one of them brothers on the pitch, bro. Just like
And
that, bro.
for that fall, Real Madrid might cancel his contract. That is 2 weeks. They don't want
Ah,
those kind of things.
Nah.
Real Madrid should not do that, fam. Real Madrid trained him in how to do that. What you talking about? In Spanish football, don't get me started. I must
Oh,
have
is
looked
that where he
down
learned?
over there.
Is that where he learned to cry?
They make phone calls over there too, you know. By the way, you
Do
guys
you know what I
already
mean?
you guys saw this moment of the phone calls, right? Like what was going on? Who was on the other end of the line?
The chairman of the Coupe
Snipers,
d'Africains.
bro.
Chairman of the Coupe d'Africains. The chairman was saying, hey, what's going on? We're not having that here tonight. You know what I mean? No, honest,
How
bro.
do,
Like,
how do we know?
That was
He
the
was increasing
accountants,
the
bro.
odds on Betway.
That's my
Maybe he
bro.
was on Betway.
Take my bet now, chips. Cash out.
Cash out. Cash out now before Mane gets the ball. Cash out now.
No, that is
Oh
hilarious.
god, the fact that that's on his phone during the football game, you know that corruption is going on. Like,
bro, like,
Yeah.
you
is that the
don't like
manager?
to
Is
see
he
them things, bro. Nah, that's not the manager. That was our
who is that?
official. That was just our official, one of the officials for the game.
Yeah, there was two of them on the phone, like seeming like they're making some serious decisions. But you know what? You know,
I was coming to say
something.
it was going to continue on with the ceremony or not. You get me? At
Yeah,
what point was that phone call being made?
there was actually the timestamp is right there. That is 101 minutes into the game. So
Bro.
Yeah, that was some crazy stuff.
Extra time. It was the
And
extra time.
and the
Personally.
president
When it
of
was
FIFA was
all
right
for this
there.
shit, we have to rewind.
right.
And you know, the funniest thing, yeah, is like this situation is a boiling over from a lot of different situations, and I can't lie about that. And I think a lot of people missing that factor, bro. Because when you look at the work decisions, it's like up here, and just it was very, very controversial. You know what I mean? Like Messi didn't get a yellow card for a blatant handball that stopped a attack from. It should have been a red card because it stopped our attack, and he was the last man against Argentina, you know. And then they went on to win that game by a penalty, and
Yeah.
Messi scored the penalty. So for me, it come like football in itself, generally.
Mark, wherever you are, the signal is terrible, bro. Just
My
go
bad.
to a just go to a
Tell me
spot
if I
where
get you hearing me better. Tell me if you're hearing me better.
now we can.
All
Don't
right,
tell me
so
that was all the time.
no, well, I walked 10 steps just now to my right, bro. My bad.
Stay where
No, but
you
what
are.
I'm saying is, it's like it's just one of those things where
Be
you
like
could have seen this
Diaz.
coming.
Stay in one
Because
place.
if you look at the Premier League and all, bro, I think a lot of fans of Premier League football are a lot disappointed with the way the game has been officiated in the Prem. And it's not me alone as a Man United fan. It can have lots of fans, especially for smaller clubs, because if you look at some of the decisions in the last season of the Prem and this season in the Prem, it's very controversial. You know, you don't get standardized decisions across 3 or 4 games in the same week. You'll have 3 or 4 similar situations, and you'll have 3 or 4 or different decisions. And that is weird. And I can't see consistency when you're having different decisions for similar situations. I feel like this is where we're supposed to have a standardized ruling system, basically like a point system that says, okay, within these parameters, then you decide left. Within those parameters, you decide right. Within the other parameters, wherever goes, or wherever. But it's like, okay, Liverpool playing, or let me say a big team playing a small team, we'll give it to the big team. Or this team, we don't want this team to really do anything. We want them to be in turmoil. We go give it to the other team.
That's very true. It's
You know what though?
across the board.
You calling that out as well though. Sorry, Paco. Yeah, so you calling that out as well. Yeah, does make a lot of sense because you know one thing that I find crazy. We have video assisted refereeing, VAR, and you still can't get decisions consistently right, and that's where it really fucks up. It just goes to show that there must be something at play as well when it comes down to it. Yeah, because if we have the means right now to go back, replay, check if somebody's done something, yeah, to the point where we can see it all on the TV transpire in front of our eyes. Why are we still getting things so wrong and so different? That's what I'm saying. It should be so much more consistent now.
What I said
It's
earlier,
crazy.
Sepp Blatter, when they wanted to introduce VAR, because it was there in the NFL, American football, it was there in the NBA, like a VAR type system. Sepp Blatter refused because he said football is supposed to have a flow and we don't want to take that away, and it's the beauty of the game. That's why I told you Sepp Blatter was corrupt, but he was supporting the beautiful game.
Yeah.
I know. I think he was supporting his beautiful pockets.
We're not denying that part, by the way, but we'd rather have him than what we saw in the Morocco game.
Sepp Blatter's corruption was much better. It was not in your face like that.
What corruption he wants, That's how it is,
No,
though.
but-
It's like the saying says, isn't it? It's only good who's involved.
No, but like the one thing that I want to touch on is that like for me as the tournament in itself, like starting with say the quarterfinal fixtures, I think it was actually really good because there was like 7 of the 8 quarterfinalists, like you could call them all like favorites to win this, and it was, even though not all the matches lived up to the hype, a lot of them were actually really good matchups, like Mali, Senegal, Egypt versus Ivory Coast, and then from there Algeria versus Nigeria, and then Cameroon versus Morocco. And we obviously saw Cameroon lose 2-0 to Morocco. That one was a little bit like, that game in itself, like Brahim Diaz actually scored, and I think you could more or less say, Cameroon didn't really like put up a fight because they didn't register a shot on target versus Morocco, and Morocco beat them 2-0. So like he could pretty much just make that argument that Morocco were the deserving winners versus Cameroon. But you can't say the same about Morocco versus Nigeria, because that one, there was a clear hand in terms of the officiating, like, playing a part, the team that I would say was not like you couldn't tip them as favorites was Algeria, but Nigeria, Morocco, Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Egypt, Senegal, and Mali, you could maybe say that like they all stood a chance in the quarterfinals. It's all just set up for a very, very, very entertaining last stages of the competition. Mark, you here?
Yeah. And being a Mali fan in this AFCON, a lot of men has asked me why, yeah. And to be honest, I'll be fair, I don't really know why I just picked Mali, because I remember last time we did AFCON, we was just looking at teams, and I not Nigerian, I'm not Ghanaian, you know what I mean? And I just felt like it would be unnatural for me to support a team just because other man them supporting them. So I ended up just choosing Mali, yeah. But no, I really like the Mali kit on it as well. So, I'm backing them strong. And I think, this was a disappointing tournament for Mali in the sense that they did reach the quarterfinals, but the performances I feel like they was decent, but they really wasn't clinical with the chances. The striker Senoyoko, he had 5 goals, which was quite astounding to me because he was real shit. You know, I feel like if Mali had a better striker, they would do much better. But when I look at this tournament from the last tournament, what I will say is that a lot of people might focus on the corruption issues of AFCON and all the little side shows and whatever, but a lot of
Yeah.
people wouldn't talk about how high the quality of the football was.
Mm-hmm.
Teams that they would not expect to be a team to even show a performance. They were hard to beat against some of the big teams in AFCON. And I think that it goes to show that the development of African football. And
Yeah.
another positive I would say coming out of this AFCON is learning that AFCON is going to change the times of AFCON to be more within the schedule, which means that AFCON will now be trying to compete with viewership for the likes of the Euros and Copa America. And that makes it all the more interesting. But a lot of people might say, well, AFCON might not get the views.
Do
But
that.
what I
Do
will
you
say
think it's a
about
good
that.
idea for them to have changed their schedule, though, Mark?
Well,
They're
yes,
changing their
I'm going on to
schedule.
that. I'm going on to this. Let me finish, and then because that's what I'm now getting on to. Because I think the most positive thing, it may not be for the fans, but it may be for the players and the countries. Because a lot of football clubs, especially in Europe, top clubs, they do not purchase Africa because of AFCON. And because of the timing of AFCON, because it happens in a real difficult time in the season, is the time between game week 16 and game week 24. Difficult.
Your audio is moving mad again.
Oh, it's going away again. He was just making some good points as well.
Yeah.
Tell him to be like Diaz, just to be in one place.
Just stand in one place like Mendy.
Yes.
Oh, hold on. While his audio is moving mad like this, I want to ask the people. We have almost how many 30 people tuned in. If you haven't hit the like button, this is how we're looking at you right now. This look right here.
Y'all can
You
hear me better
are
now?
enjoying the show clearly because you're here and you haven't hit the like button. This is the look you're getting. Right?
If you guys can hear me better now, let me know.
Mark, we can hear you better now. We can hear you better.
Right.
Yes.
So, like I was saying, like for me, and I'm not African, but
Much
I'm
better.
Caribbean. But as a man, I appreciate football, and I feel like it takes away from African football development when they don't give their players the best opportunity to be selected by top clubs. And with the fact that they're changing AFCON, I think you would see a revolutionary turn or uptake in African players coming to Europe, various European leagues now. Again, it might have a whole crossover scene going on right now. And I think that benefits AFCON 10 times more than AFCON playing in its own time slot.
It's all about the business.
No,
Strive
not
at
business really, but
and he
you
says
see,
drop the link.
it's just like the Caribbean, bro. Africa cannot afford to develop all the players at the highest level. You need European assistance. So why make it difficult for your players to play for top clubs in Europe and progress themselves, which will benefit your nation to compete for World Cup and these things and get into higher tournaments, and compete better
You know what?
than.
Go ahead. What did you say? You said, "Do you know what?" And
And
then you can.
okay, he cut off. Okay. Well, listen, I agree with it in a way. Yeah. Hey, look, the thing is, you are giving them opportunity, I guess, for European teams to pick them, big European teams. Yes, but let's be honest. Everybody's known about this for years and years and years and years and years and years. Yeah, and we've seen excellent African players come through the Premiership, bro, and other Premiership teams are just jealous of some certain African players that have come. I remember Essien. I remember Essien when he was here at Chelsea. I remember Drogba. Bro, when when Chelsea had those people, we was like, raw. We could use a good couple of those, bro. Yeah. Don't tell me you could. Anyway, I don't think it matters right now I think people can prepare for having a great African player and knowing that the African Cup of Nations coming up. I don't think it has been hindering them. So why change it now? Do you really think it has been hindering African players when we see so much African players in so much top European teams?
Don't you remember though, when we were talking about, oh, what should we sign Baliba? Should we sign the? We were like, oh, we had these conversations many times. Was some people?
But who was saying that though? Yeah, but who was saying that? Who was saying that? It was only Pav was really saying it.
No, it wasn't just Pav. It's like an actual consideration that any recruitment team makes. They look at the number of Africans they have. They say, well, can we afford to let go of these many key players? There's a consideration you got to make. Go ahead, doctor. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's
by the way.
Yeah. I think it's because of the timing of the year. Because AFCON has always happened. First, it was odd years. Then it happened. It's always happened, or at least in my living memory, December, January. And in the like European leagues, most leagues, that's when like you have to get the maximum points for your team. So if you have a very important player who leaves for, let's say, a month, like Mazraoui's left for a month, we needed him. What's his name? And Buemo and Ahmad, they left for the month of December. They only just got back.
Yeah,
so I think that's why most teams are hesitant to sign a certain amount of players. Look at Sunderland. They lost like 7 players. They don't care because they have a strong team even without the 7 players.
Okay.
So I think that's why.
No, but to nail it home, think about it like this, fellas. And while I don't want to make it to blame AFCON, yeah, at the end of the day, South American players, when they go on international break, European players on international break, Caribbean players on international break, Asian players on international break. You know what I mean? And there's no mistaking that the fact that African players go on a break at that different time takes away from not only their form in the club form, and realistically, bro, you have to turn around now and say, this is their day job. This is who paying them. This is where they're eating, bro. This is where the bread coming home. You dig?
Yeah.
And it's not about the clubs, It's about the players, because you don't want someone to choose between the club and the nation. And that is in effect what you're forcing some of these players to do, because let's be honest, bro. Yeah, if you're doing this, nobody else doing this but AFCON. And while it might be distinct to AFCON, it might be something normal and was always done this way, that is cool. But when you look at the grand scheme, when all players go on break, maybe if they was all going on break, they could argue for better rest periods, less games. Maybe they have more opportunities to perform at a higher level. Maybe, let's just say, maybe the clubs will realize their own hypocrisy, if you understand what I'm saying.
To add on to what you were saying, look at the start of AFCON. Hakimi traveled with his medical team from PSG because they were not. It was a whole debate if they are saying the Morocco squad is not, competent enough and whatever. But in the end, they were saying that this team trains with Hakimi all the time. His physio, nutritionist, all of that. And they were like, they want to prevent injuries. Exactly what you were saying. It's not harmonized. It takes out. And people even have to have a debate if they should allow medical staff from outside the country's team to be there. But they don't want him to get injured and then come back because he got injured somewhere, kicking down people from, I don't know, Algeria, Senegal, or Morocco. Other teams.
And to be fair, the biggest thing people not looking at, they're looking at it as a negative, but look at it as a positive, because the positive is, imagine Botswana have players now in the Premier League or in the Bundesliga.
We're gonna need a big imagination for that, but yeah.
No, but you understand what I'm saying, bro? Like it now opens the door for other teams like Kenya, teams that like the Tanzania. Look at their performance. Nobody was expecting Tanzania to show that kind of performance, bro. It
Mozambique
opens the
also.
door. And that's more important for the development of football all over Africa than having a special time for AFCON, bro. Because at the end of the day, the grand scheme is always greater than the one hollow. And I gotta look at it like that, bro.
I got a question for Paco, by the way. But before that, Striver, you wanted to chime in earlier on, bro, about when Mark was talking about AFCON needing to be on how the change is going to benefit AFCON now. You had a counter argument or something. Yes.
I do. I feel like making a tournament every 4 years is very much tailoring football towards European football, European leagues. Now, we don't say this when, let's say, South America tournaments are happening. They usually happen during the summer, but if they happen during the season, no one would say anything. Yeah,
they don't happen during the season, bro. Don't assume that. I'm from South America, by the way, so I can tell you.
I'm just saying. I'm saying as per se, no one would say anything.
They would.
About you,
but they don't. So they can't make the argument, bro. Sorry.
Let me finish. Having a tournament every 2 years, I feel like, and having it at the time it does, shines light on African football. Now, these players won't get opportunities unless they're seen by scouts. The best way to see football players is to see them playing frequently, so you have a sample size, so you can see them. They're only as good as their last match. Now, this tournament happening now, we've seen so many new teams, new players coming up, which you wouldn't be able to see during the season or at certain times. But now, it's at this particular time, December, January, look, you've seen so many footballers. A lot of them are going to start getting scouted, call-ups. The more football we have, the more players playing, the more exposure, the more players are seen. That's the fact of the matter. You know, scouts are not going to necessarily, I don't know how good scouts are in certain countries, but they're not going to necessarily do their jobs and find these players. But this shines a light. It makes sure that every player is seen, whether Tanzania, Botswana, all the smaller Kenya, all these smaller countries, their players are going to get seen. Exposure is the key. I don't care about European schedules. We're just conforming to them. It's not a disadvantage. It's an advantage because they're getting seen. That's end of story.
Botswana goalkeeper now has exposure. But go ahead, Mark. What are you going to say?
To counter his argument there, I would tell him 3 things. 1, you cut out about 40% of possible viewership having it during Christmas time, because during Christmas time, nobody wants to really watch football. And then it have Premier League at the same time, and most of the games that was taking up viewership away from AFCON. And you can check the stats for yourself if you think I'm talking nonsense. The days when it had big Premier League games, AFCON had the lowest viewership in the history on those days this year. Yeah, because I was covering AFCON every game. So I could tell you, bro. You understand? And the next thing I will tell you is, bro, AFCON is next year. AFCON is next year again. So that argument you're talking about it not having enough football, AFCON is next year, 2027, bro. Check your facts.
To be fair, I don't understand
just
that.
Wait, hold on. Just wait, hold on. Let me finish. I contact your arguments that you give me. Give me a reason.
You're literally
listen. What I am trying to explain to you is that what you arguing is for naught, because AFCON changing to the summer, it happened in 2027 in the summer. Yeah, when everybody have time to watch AFCON. Everybody, and I'm talking about including the European audience who will be interested in watching AFCON, who will not be interested during Christmas time. And now, not only that, scouts are always going to be in Africa, bro. They don't just go Africa once in a time, because Africa don't just have AFCON. They have World Cup qualifiers, that is another tournament, and they have Nations League as well. So you have to understand there's more football in Africa now than last 4 years. So the instances is that, okay, maybe you might consider it as a European conformance, but I looking at it from the perspective of somebody who have CONCACAF, yeah, who have Gold Cup, and who's watched Copa, who has watched Euros, and I look at it and it have some teams in Africa I would rather watch than watch some of the Euro teams play. it have some teams playing in Africa that I will definitely watch over the Copa America games. Because when you watch some of these AFCON games, you're seeing a quality of football. Why are you so afraid for AFCON to compete for views with these tournaments and really rise their ranking? Because really and truly, bro, you can't compete unless you're competing against the best going on. And this is something that will boost the quality of AFCON even more. Because if you haven't games that denoting more better performances than a game from Europe, scouts will want to go there more. It will encourage people to look at that more. Because realistically,
but you
you're not
already
giving
said,
it.
Mark, you just said, yeah, that the whole thing that when you covered all the games at AFCON, right? And you even saw yourself that when Premier League matches were on, that they couldn't compete with it, yeah. So
Well,
why
yeah,
would you
that's
want
Premier
to compete
League.
with other European teams? Yeah, but
Because
why would
think
AFCON
about
then
it.
why would AFCON then
Bro.
want to compete
Think
with
about it.
other European
I-
teams that have bigger
Let him
viewership
finish.
as well? You competing at that time. You'll be
Can I give an
competing. You'll be
example?
competing.
Africa is the biggest continent on the planet, bro. Hold on. Africa is the biggest continent on
we
the
know
planet,
that.
right?
And
And I
people
would
that
just
are
say
watching
this.
football, bro, are spread all over the world. Yeah, it's
Exactly.
like you
But
said,
here,
you saw the viewership drop while you was watching the Premiership.
okay,
The
but
Premiership
this
was
is
on.
why I said just now, this is why I just said, Joe, I would cover some of the AFCON games over some of the European games because the performance I know I go and get better than I saw during the Euros for some Euro games. So I will cover that more. And it will have people just like me.
Brother, let me
Can I
just
give an example from the African continent? When there was one time, one of the December games, I think last week of December, and Arsenal was playing. We were at a restaurant sports bar. It's not really so much a sports bar. They have two TVs. One next to the outdoor area, which everybody wants. The other one deep inside the corner. So what's going to be one TV screen is going to be AFCON. One TV screen is going to be the Arsenal game. And it was a big argument because the people wanted the Arsenal game to be on the better side TV. And I spoke with the host, and he's like, you know what? Most of my customers are Arsenal fans, so Arsenal game gets a priority.
And you know why I know I could tell you that, bro?
You
Because it
don't
had
think that
5
will happen with
African youths.
European games as well, Mark? That will happen
No, but
with
listen,
European
you're not,
games.
but you see, you're
Imagine
not
mixing
listening.
Euros.
You're not listening. You're not listening this part. Premier League is club football. That's more popular than international football, especially in Europe, bro. But when it have no club football, now you're going into the range of who people want to watch. Now, let me just point in this. It have viewership, of course, to Africans all over the world, bro. And it have Europeans who will watch African football over watching a European game of a team that they don't like. Understand what I'm telling you?
What country?
And this is not something I asking, bro. It's something that I know for a fact, bro. I know this for a fact because I just sit down in bars watching Euros with Germans, bro. Yeah, Dutch people sometimes, and they just be saying, bro, you know, if AFCON was during this time, we would not be watching this particular game because we don't have a dog in the race here, but we'd rather watch Drogba or one of them men who we know playing for we club, play for our team.
Sadio Mane.
I'm just giving a raw example of a name. It don't want to be Drogba or whatever, but you understand where I'm coming from. Because the real and the end, be all and end of is choice. And people need to have a choice. And if we look at AFCON and you find the quality of AFCON high, then you want to see AFCON compete with the best. And bro, in Christmas time, they're taking away viewership, bro. Joe, how much AFCON games you cover, bro? You wasn't busy. Understand how much people like you was busy. Botswana was busy. Man, them was busy doing things, and it's not because they didn't want to be, but they have to because it's a family time during the Christmas period. So unless you went back to Africa on vacation and it was there and they could have go to the game and you had the time because everybody's supporting the nation, you're not going to be watching AFCON during Christmas time, bro, and the New Year. You're going to be out partying. Or you're going to be doing things with your family. So let me just be real.
Hold on, Mark. Mo Football was asking what country Paco was referring to earlier, and Botswana is the country that he was talking about. Striver, go ahead, bro. You were about to say something.
Yeah. I just the summer argument, yeah. Do you know, like most countries in Africa in the summer, a lot of them are very, very, very hot. Very hot. Very, very, very hot. So the reason why a lot of the AFCONs are, or most of the AFCONs are the time they are, is because it is in a reasonable time. And whether there's other factors, it's not just about the viewership, it's not just about that. And I feel like the time it is, a lot of people watch it anyway. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas. If a game is on and you enjoy football, you're gonna watch the football.
No, bro.
I feel
No,
like,
bro.
yeah, you are. You are.
Bro.
If
Bro, listen. I promise you, bro. Listen, ask them brothers here, bro. I just sit down and watch football whole day and things sometimes, bro. And very hot. You're talking to a Caribbean brother, bro, who sometimes in normal time is 40 degrees and thing, bro. And 55 degrees of humidity, bro. And bro, listen, they still had to play football in the World Cup in the hot summer just so, bro. So I feel like your argument they're not making sense. In the sense that, listen, bro, listen.
You can include
ways
hydration breaks.
Exactly. We've done this for the World Cup, bigger tournament. Don't argue that,
we've done this for the World Cup, but when was the last World Cup?
Bro.
I mean, this coming
2
World
years
Cup
before
is going to have
AFCON.
hydration breaks.
2 years before AFCON.
In
the USA, in Mexico, in Canada,
very hot this
the
year.
hottest summer in the last 10 years, bro. So what I'm telling you here is not something that they don't have solutions for. So let me put it like this, bro. What is the big issue of playing the games in the summer using hydration breaks in a time when all other footballers on break doing the same thing? Every other footballer on break doing the same thing. Why can't the African brothers be doing the same thing too?
Well, I think the problem with it as well is the fact that it's also being broken up. It's gone down to every 4 years now instead of every 2 years as well. I think that's where the argument comes.
For the next two AFCONs is 2 years apart. So next AFCON is 2027, and after that is 2029 again.
And I think that one they're trying to have it in South Africa and Botswana. You know, I don't know how far the developments are. But like,
so the next AFCON is in Kenya.
Yes,
in Southern
2027.
2027. That's next year, summer.
Yeah.
And the one after, according to them, is they're trying to make it 2028, so that they'll make the next one after that in 2032. God, I don't know why they didn't just make it 2028 summer. I don't know why they didn't just make it 2028 summer. So after that, they make it 2032.
Well, because the FIFA man was in Africa, right, for the final, right? So according to the latest reports, they push it, they're putting it to 2029, so it will also coincide with the way it coincide this year with the World Cup qualification. So that is why they're doing what they do. It should be 2029, and I believe that they're gonna try to do it. And then from then, at the same time, they're having the Euros, which will be 2032, which will be a 3-year stint in between. But it will have the World Cup, and a lot of African teams will be at the World Cup. So technically, it will be 2 years after the major tournament that featured African teams. So in a way, I would say like they're doing things, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not African, so you might say I want all it to conform, but I just take looking at it from a other perspective, in the sense that if all other players are on international break at tournaments thing, why can't African players do the same thing? Because you never know, it might give them better conditioning, it might allow them to perform at the peak longer because they don't have that break. And then they had then when they go through the Christmas break, when all the other players on break, them brothers had to play football.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then when they come back, they meet the teams in whatever position and try to hit form, because they will be pressured by the teams because they wasn't there. Sorry, Doc.
No, go on.
Doctor, go ahead.
So the Asia Cup, I just looked up at it, and it's every 2 years, but in odd years. So 2023, 2025, 2027, 2029, etc. I don't know. Me personally, I liked the odd year thing because it didn't coincide with anything. But then again, I'm not too invested in the politics of. I hate politics, so I'm not invested in the politics of all that bullshit.
The Asia Cup is what month?
Pardon?
What month
What
is
month?
the Asia Cup in?
Is the same time as
One
Copa,
second.
Papi?
It's 9th of September to 28th of September. So basically at the beginning of the season-ish.
Okay.
Of whatever season, like, but there's not many Asian, at least I'm not gonna, you know what, I'm not even gonna finish that because I don't know.
Yeah, all right. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to AFCON 2025, dog. I kind of want to.
No, I was just trying to do like a side by side comparison as to why I feel like this whole changing of years and whatnot, and this, honestly, I don't understand why we're having it next year and then 2028. Just make, if we're gonna do it in the summer, let me finish. If we're gonna do it in the summer, then just say 2028 summer. Then you change it to 4 years, 2032, 2036, 2040, etc., etc.
Got you.
And plus, it gives time to whatever country who's hosting to build the proper stadiums, and that again is another topic on corruption.
Another
and
day. All right. Let's come
Usually
back
with
to
big
AFCON
tournaments, the
2025.
country that hosted it usually start preparations 8 years before.
Okay.
Mark, let me
Usually.
just say, yeah, I know that, but let me just say, we're in Africa.
Yeah, we know. But you
it's
know, we
not-
can't always just crush it on Africa just like that, because you had to remember that a lot of the materials and things they have to buy it at double the price. Because they had to ship it in and pay export duties, plus they had to buy currency. Because it's buy most of them, they get most of the thing from France. They had to buy French dollars.
Let's round up some of the stats in this. I'm just curious from the panel and for people like Mo that were tuned into most of the AFCON games. Can you guys guess some of these things that I'm about to
Side
ask?
note,
hold on.
before you ask that question, I'm not a sheep, so don't, just because I have my personal reasons for not liking it. So, but I'm not a sheep. I just don't follow everything. Trust me. But you can go ahead.
Wait,
what? Who called you a sheep?
Who called
No, nobody called me a sheep, but I'm just saying. I don't know whether he's talking to me or
nobody
talking
here
to
had that thought about you. I could tell you that, doctor. You know what I mean?
No, I'm just saying. So
if you
I
felt like
to
that,
clarify.
I apologize.
No,
It's
not you, Mark. It's not you,
No,
Mark.
I just wanted to say that, doctor.
Okay, all right.
No,
Let's come back. Let's come back to the stats. Let's come back to the stats.
Let's not be like the Morocco. Let's not be like Morocco.
I just didn't want her to feel that type of way, guys.
No, I'm fine. No, Mark, I know, definitely. Yeah, I'm fine. Trust me. Thumbs up.
Papi,
Oh God.
what you're saying? Bring the
No,
stats there, because I think we should be able to answer that here.
I was gonna ask which team. Can anybody guess which team scored the most goals in the tournament?
Morocco.
Nigeria,
probably.
Yeah,
Anybody else want to guess? Anybody in the chat? Anybody else in the panel? Paco, I didn't hear your guess.
I think it's Nigeria.
The answer is Nigeria with 14 goals.
Morocco had how many? 13?
Morocco, I think, had 13. Which team had the most consecutive wins? It's not who you think it is.
Morocco.
It's
Oh,
Nigeria.
Senegal.
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Oh, Senegal had a draw.
Won all the group games. Yeah.
They won all the group games and the first knockout game.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
team?
they picked at the wrong time.
Which team conceded the most goals?
Botswana.
That's not Botswana.
I get it.
I think it was Sudan.
Oh.
Sudan? Is either Sudan or Burkina Faso? One of the two of them.
Mozambique.
The answer is Mozambique. Exactly.
But also,
I see your answers in the chat. By the way, I'm not ignoring you guys.
I was going to say that question though. Who considered the most goal? It's also misleading because if you go up in the group stage, you get out of the group stages, go to the quarters, you play more and you can concede more. But if you get kicked out early on, you're not gonna concede more because you know what, you play 3 games and that's it.
But if you conceded more, you conceded more. It doesn't matter
No,
if you.
but in the group stage, I know Sudan hold 3 twice, I think.
Exactly. You see,
So I
they
was
couldn't
like,
even
it
go to
had
the
to be them.
quarterfinals. They would have gotten 3 more again.
Bro.
Sure, I
Oh
hear
yeah, they
you.
did play a quarterfinals and held one.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
So, guys, I just want to clarify something. I made a mistake in the Asia Cup. The one I read first was the Asia Cup for cricket.
Oh.
Didn't realize it till now.
Did you say cricket?
I'm so sorry.
All good, Doc. That would have happened. That is small thing.
But we
It's
have
all
The
good.
Asia
Caribbean here. Is it cricket T20 or ODI? Like the
No,
one
they just call it
I have
Asia
no
Cup.
idea. I
Asia
don't.
Cup.
They just
Asia
call it
Cricket
Asia Cup.
Cricket Cup or some shit like that.
It happens every 4 years.
Doctor,
2023,
let's
2027, 2031. Sorry, and it happens in February, in January to February. Sorry, I just had to clarify that shit.
thank you. Thank you. The
Dom.
last question that I was just gonna ask was which team won the FIFA Fair Play Award? Which nation?
Morocco.
Obviously, Morocco was gonna be given that one, right?
Morocco.
Like we didn't watch the thing yesterday, and we were.
Okay, and then we know that the best goalkeeper was Yassine Bono, and the top goal scorer was Brahim Diaz, and the MVP was Mane.
Guys, I have a quick question.
What did
about
they?
the fair play? Is it for the team that gets the least amount of red cards and yellow cards, even if they fuck up shit outside?
That's precisely
That was
what
weird.
it is. I think it's the team that gets the least yellows and reds. And
Because that was weird when Morocco got that award.
yeah, it
You know
added a
what's
little
weird?
and
Morocco not
Hakimi
conceded
being
more
the
yellow
player.
cards than they conceded in this tournament. I just find that very weird. I don't know how man them don't find that weird. But I'm not a huge Morocco fan, but watching Morocco play, they usually concede a lot.
Yeah.
Yellows.
I mean,
And
these
they
are some
say
of
they
the
are the
stats.
most fair team. Fair play. Oh my god.
These are some of the stats that you can see from the AFCON 2025 roundup. You know, a lot of Nigeria having the team with the highest possession, Senegal is the team with the most passes.
Most offsides, Egypt.
Most offsides award goes to Egypt. Most fouls, though, go to Morocco. They didn't get yellows, but they committed the most fouls.
So how they get fair play
You see?
award now? How they get fair play
Exactly.
award?
Now
Because
we're
Most
talking.
foul.
Now
Get
we're
fair play
talking.
award. Oh, you get fair play award. How?
They also won the most penalties as well. Them and Mali.
Mali had to win penalties, bro, because man them keep fouling me, bro, in the box. You know what I mean? I keep trying to take out the team, bro, all the time.
And don't
So
forget, they got the most fouls, even though the referees were lenient on them. Can you imagine?
bro, 141, you know. I think the closest team to them had like 112.
And this is with the lenient referees in your pocket.
Brother, I don't know, but
the agenda must.
I need you to send me. I need you to send this to me in WhatsApp, but so I can send this from my brethren now. Cause he always tell me crying, but I'm telling you, bro, I's a man. I just watch football. I like physical football, bro. I don't. Man could take how to take a little tackle. Cause in a basketball, this is still a contact sport. Yeah, and I feel like the way men just carry on because a man get touch, brother.
Yeah.
Touch. You're supposed to get taken out. Last I checked, a penalty supposed to be a foul as a little bit as borderline yellow in the box. It's not just a simple foul. And I feel like it gets so watered down now, bro. It's like players, like it's like with I'm not like again. I'm not going to crash it on Brahim Diaz, bro, because he's a small guy. You know the fellas and the defender who pull him big and strong, but. I feel like we had to start in the referees had to reinstate yellow cards for diving. Whether you ain't really dive or not, just to determine from that one to dive, because it's taken away from the attacking in football. It making the game real bland, bro. Because let me be honest, bro, if you mash a man at the side of his foot and he fall, how is that a penalty?
The referees just need to do their job.
Yeah.
When are they going to do that, bro?
Welcome to Africa, says Mo.
Bro, there's
No,
not
so
Africa, bro. 'Cause Africa had better officiating than the Premier League king. Don't do that. But yeah, I know Africa just had a controversy and thing. This not my first rodeo watching AFCON. But let me not try to make it seem like if we don't see worse calls in the Premier League weekly and 10 times a weekend. Because it's
yeah,
10 games we watching. And let me ask anybody a question on this panel. Because sure, we're all Premier League fans. Name the last time you see a referee call the same foul in one game, 4 or 5 games. And if it's what is weird, this Premier League season is so weird, bots, that every single week it have comparable situations in games with comparably different, incomparable decisions.
yeah,
So it's the weirdest thing that you will see a penalty given in game X. It have a situation almost identical in game Y, 2 different decisions. How is that possible? We have
yeah.
VAR.
The inconsistency needs to be called out for real. It is just too
Bro,
much. But
That's so
yep,
true.
I don't want to dwell too much on Premier League
no, not.
because
But you
today,
see, when you are talking about it, because I don't want people to feel like AFCON just. Bro, AFCON had good
yes, yes.
refereeing for the most part.
I hear you. I hear you. Like Doc, you're drawing a parallel between the two. But I wanna conclude our conversation with Live Score released the Africa Cup of Nations team of the tournament, and I'm curious if you guys have any thoughts about this about
Morocco, obviously. It's always Morocco.
no, there's Mendy in goal. Come on, be kind to Live Score. They're not as
Just now,
corrupt.
wait. Why
There's,
is Mo Salah in that team?
there's Mo Salah
Ask
in the
again.
front
How is
line.
Mo Salah in that
Most
team?
There's Osimhen, there's Mane, there is Diaz, there's Gay, there's Lookman, there's Mazraoui, Hakimi as the fullbacks,
look,
and Dai and
I
We could understand. We
I
could
But
agree.
understand for
Mazraoui
the
played
most
really well.
part.
Yeah,
I
but
could
Mazraoui
I
understand how
played
agree.
really
Mendy
well.
start in that
I
tournament.
I
Where's the
With
agree
Wobie?
with
Bono,
Where's the
but
one
Wobie?
person at a
Salah
time,
should
one
not be
person at
there.
a time.
Salah should not
He
be there.
was so
Everybody
shit.
else, I agree.
Okay,
Everybody
He
else,
was
I
so
agree, but
shit,
Salah
boy.
shouldn't be there
Doctor says Salah should
because
not be in there. Put somebody else.
yeah, he was
Put
Yeah.
trash.
Iwobi or something. Put who
Yeah.
should go?
Where's
Iwobi was
Alex?
chef's kiss.
What
I
about the
won't
youth
lie.
man who was playing number 10 for Mozambique? He didn't score a
Wait,
hat trick.
Mark. Wait. Let's hear Doctor and then Striver after this. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to say this. Then I feel like anybody else but Salah. I don't care who, but I don't care who, what, how, when. I swear anybody else but Salah.
How, when?
Pick from the Nigerian team because I won't lie, all
Yes.
biases aside, Nigeria did well. And
Yes.
FYI for the other panelists, I'm Ghanaian.
Yeah.
But we're
Yeah.
I can
Mbai.
say that.
Hey.
With
So
the
the
man
truth,
from Germany. Mbai or something is his name. Why he not in?
Why- This team of the tournament has too many Nigerians. First of all, I'm just realizing that.
No,
Thank
it
you for
doesn't
pointing
actually.
out.
It doesn't actually.
It has
It doesn't
3
actually.
or 4.
Nigeria, especially
Four
Lukman and
Nigerians.
Osimhen.
Four they did
Lukman and
well.
Osimhen and Ajayi, bro.
And
Them
this is
3
coming
men
from me.
deserve their positions. I would say though that they're missing that youth man Mbai and Bongonda from the Congo because I think Bongonda have like 3 or 4 assists in the tournament and 2 goals.
What about what's
Done
his
more
name?
than Salah.
Kamara,
Do you know what?
Koulibaly,
What about El Kabi? The man score a bicycle and he make the first team. Nah, boy.
Okay.
No.
I want to welcome Ellen.
Bicycle was one goal, one event. It's not good enough for the
No,
tournament.
but that was good though. The first match of the tournament was good. I loved it. It was a great opener for the tournament.
What about
It
Mahrez?
just
What about
sucked.
Riyad Mahrez?
Nah, Mahrez didn't do enough.
Nah, Mahrez was kind of shit the last 2 games he played, bro. Them was lucky to get a penalty and all in one of them games.
Striver, what are you saying? Do you have any additions, modifications to this team of the tournament produced by Live Score?
There's a few people that other people have mentioned that definitely deserve the team, but I think Alex Iwobi should definitely be there just because of how many passes, line splitting passes, 47 line splitting passes in a tournament. Come on, man.
You saw his last
That's
two
true.
games. He was utter shit.
Oh, okay.
Utter shit.
No,
The
no,
last
Mark.
two
Let's
games
be
of Alexi
honest.
Wobi was
Oh,
a
no,
disgrace
but
to the performance in the first three. I swear to you. And I'm not even being overly critical of the brother. Because I was telling everybody Nigeria wasn't going nowhere. And after I see the first two games, I was like, they're going to win the tournament. I'm not a Nigerian fan, bro. Let's be honest, bro. But he was utter shit in the last two games. Let's not do that.
And
Alexi
then
Wobi.
pick up yourself, and then
Up, boss. How you doing?
good.
Yeah.
You see the team of the
Just
tournament.
to add on to
Paco
what
wants to chime in first. Go ahead.
what
Paco.
our brother from the Caribbean was saying about the game. So in the semifinals, we had Senegal versus Egypt, right?
Yes.
So the sports bar that I went to watch it, that game was automatic. It was even on the flyers and the advertising for the game. Then the 10 p.m. game, which started the same time as Nigeria versus Morocco, the advertising was for the Carabao Cup, Arsenal versus Chelsea, which they had expected most people to come. But when they asked the people who were at the bar at the time, everyone was like, we want to see Lookman and Osimhen. Then they had to change the TV channel from the Carabao Cup to the Nigeria Morocco game.
Morocco game.
But just adding the dynamics that you were talking about, the timing, you having this, you're competing with the EPL. Some people want to see this. So you could have randomly had more Arsenal or Chelsea fans in the bar, but it ended up not being that many. And so the people decided we want to see Nigeria instead. Coming back to the Nigeria superstars, as you're saying right now. And you see all of them in the tournament.
I was disappointed in Alexi Wobi the last two games he played because, brother, he vexed me. Because I couldn't see how them teams beat Nigeria being real. I can't see it. I don't understand it, how Morocco even get past them.
Yeah.
Nigeria should have won it. Should have won it in the 90 minutes.
I want to make sure I get in thoughts on either the game or the team of the tournament or the final, or just AFCON in general. What are your thoughts?
What do you want to talk about first?
Either like we were on team of the tournament.
It's rubbish.
All right. How are you gonna panel beat this?
Just alone from Lookman and Diaz being in certain mid positions, they didn't play a single minute there. If you want to put them in, you got to take Salah and Mane out. And to be honest, I don't know what Salah's doing there because he didn't have a good tournament.
Well, individually, didn't he? How many goals did
he
Salah
was
score?
shit? Individually,
he scored individually.
garbage.
He scored one of his goals was a last minute winner tapping basically against, I think, what team did they have in their group? It's a team that no one
Zimbabwe.
expected. Zimbabwe. That was one of his goals. A last minute winner versus Zimbabwe.
The other goal was a penalty against South Africa.
The other goal was a
let's
penalty.
be real. The referee
But he
gave
scored
him that.
4 goals and 1 assist. That's 5
Bro,
GA, guys. Come on.
Bro,
now.
listen. You see the penalty he get? You see the penalty he take?
No. Now when
bro, let me tell you something. Even Messi would have tell the referee now. Messi would have tell the referee no, because you lost the ball. The ball going to the corner flag. You're chasing down the defender, and the defender, normal technique, but you're so short, and he's so tall that he can't end up touch your face, and the ref give you a pen. The ball by the corner flag, King. The ball not even nowhere in front of the face of goal. There's nowhere he was getting to that ball.
If you watch the Egypt games, he didn't deserve to be in it.
He didn't even deserve to be mentioned as a substitute.
If you're looking at GA, then you can make an argument. But then
bro,
again,
it's real players with more GA than he, bro.
Yeah, but then again,
Papi, pull up all the men with GA now, bro. Diaz who get knocked out.
Diaz has more GA than him, and for some reason he's in the centre mid position, so he shouldn't be then. Because then you're taking real positions away from the real centre mids that stood out this tournament to push in Diaz and who else was in the other centre mid position? Lookman. Mane, as much as he had a good, as much as he was great, he probably shouldn't be over. Probably shouldn't be in over Lookman. But then again, that's going to be controversial because he won the thing in the first place. But if we're going off GA, Lookman got more GA than him.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But there's also
I
the
mean,
intangibles, the presence of a guy like Mane. We're not gonna see that on the statistics, right?
Yeah, but I believe if he didn't, I believe if they didn't win,
Yeah.
he's not making that he's not making the 11
But
there.
but Diaz didn't win, and he's all right there.
Diaz was the highest scorer, so
Okay.
look, bro, top of the thing, Brian Diaz, top.
he was the highest scorer. And then you have a big name like Hakimi that came back from injury to play.
But you're also talking about Diaz as the highest scorer, but then the top goalie who got the Golden Glove is the Moroccan goalie.
Yeah,
Exactly, and this is
but
what we mentioned about
he should be
Mendy
there over
shouldn't be there
Mendy.
either.
He should be there
I
over
said
Mendy.
that. The
But
first thing I
it's
say is
because
Bono.
it's because Mendy won and saved the penalty shootout, or not a penalty shootout. He saved the penalty from Diaz and he ended up winning. That's why he's there.
Exactly, but and this is why I say
If
the only
Mendy
man.
didn't make the final, then without no matter the result, Yassine Bono would have probably been there, especially if it was
Exactly.
against someone else like Egypt. Yassine Bono would probably still be in that 11 even if he lost.
Exactly.
But then if we're saying winning is that important, we should be seeing more Senegalese players than Nigerian players on that list.
But let me be honest. Again, this is why we say it had to be based on performances throughout the tournament. Because, like I said to you, Senegal they didn't win more games than Nigeria.
Based on this performance, you can't. If Koulibaly had stayed fit, you could have put him in there, but he didn't stay fit and he missed a game. So Mamadou Sarr, who came in, who's only played 1.5 games. His first appearance, if I'm not wrong, was when Koulibaly went down. That was his first appearance in the semi-final. Was it semi-finals or quarters? Semi-finals. And he came on and played. Let's say I don't know when Koulibaly went down in the first half, like 30 minutes into the game. So he came on and played 60 minutes. He was solid, and he played the final and was solid. But he's not going to get into the starting 11 on 1.5 games. Bassi was the most solid centre back throughout this whole tournament, along with the Jai. So that's probably why they're getting in. And Bassi's performance.
I would argue that situation with Bassi, to be fair, because I feel like it had better centre backs than Bassi in this tournament. I think Twanzebe was better than him in this tournament.
But did they perform better?
Yes, they did, bro.
They did.
You look at DR Congo conceded somebody least amount of goals. I think Twanzebe was better than him. I'm being honest because at some moments it had 2 games I watched with this brother where he was slipping and defender was running onto the ball and going.
If they had beat Algeria, maybe he would have had a chance, but they crashed out too early to be considered into this.
Exactly, but if you watch over the span of games, his performance was better than Bassi.
Yeah,
I didn't even mention the man next to him. It had other teams. I didn't watch good players who had good tournaments, bro.
I think the only DR Congo match that I watched was them versus Benin. I can't remember who else was in their group, but I don't think I watched them too tough. So I wouldn't be able to talk too much on Twanzebe's performances other than if he played versus Benin. I think that was a good match.
He started all the games.
But it'll be really curious. I'm really gonna extend this to like people that are seeing this even later on in the show. Like put in the comments like who you think should be in the team of the tournament or should not.
Belieber should be there in the midfield.
Nah, he was shit in this tournament.
You were not watching the matches if you thought he was shit.
Brother. Bro, let me tell you something, yeah? I don't know why people was acting like they wanted them Boomo back because he was garbage in this tournament. He was
when I call him,
only man we was missing, only 2 men who really missed was Mazraoui and Ahmad because Ahmad was sensational and Mazraoui was good.
Let's talk about how
Boomo went to the tournament as shit as he was performing for Man United and perform worse.
I told you, bro.
Cameroon, you couldn't tell the difference between those performing or not.
Keep that bold Frenchman in my squad again. Keep
Yo, what a tournament it was. It's almost ending like it's symbolic that this stream is ending the way the AFCON final ended. With the bickering going on and people talking over each other. But more importantly, I want to say big shout out to you for being here, for hitting the like button, for participating in the conversation, and also just like, I mean, with all the corruption stuff aside, we were treated to a tournament, 4 weeks of really really good football, and I can't wait for the next AFCON tournament. I want to say again one more time, shout out to Sadio Mane, shout out to Senegal for giving us definitely a final we'll never see again. I don't think I've ever seen where players walk off the pitch protesting. I'll be looking at other football matches with with that kind of spirit, saying, "Why don't you have enough fight, as much fight as the Senegalese players?" So, yeah, it would have been really nice to be in Senegal yesterday, but just look at this. We'll close with this. Look at the scenes in Dakar as the goal went in. Let's see. Let's get the audio in here. What a time, what a day, what scene. Anyway, and just like that, we out of here. Congratulations again one more time to um yeah. What a beautiful way to end that tournament. And we won't forget, of course, we won't forget. Special shout out, special honorable mention to this guy right here. This is gonna be go down in the history books, and I think that they rewarded him with like Congo like rewarded, and what's his name, Mitchell Mboladinga. They rewarded him. The prime minister, I mean, one of the ministers in Congo gave him a special prize when he got back. So he is a champion, and yeah, Senegal definitely are champions. We out of here. Peace. The referee bet on Morocco. Referee bet better than Morocco. A bend for life if you played on. That is too funny now. Shout out to you. And Lumumba, the super fan, he was teaching people history. Exactly. The Patrice Lumumba legacy lives on. Yo, if you haven't hit the like button, come on. You know the look I'm giving you.